welcome. Thank you for joining me. I'm joined by Laurent MIGNON, CEO of WENDEL Group. Thank you very much for your time. Laurent, I wonder if you might first just start by giving us a brief overview of WENDEL Group and your activity, if that's okay.
WENDEL, as you know, is a holding company. It's listed on the Paris Stock Exchange, and it has been a pioneer in the investment as a holding company in private companies for many years. Started in 1977. It has invested in many companies very successfully, but we decided 2 years ago that we're going to shift a little bit the strategy and not only to rely on that pillar, which we're going to continue, which is the DNA of the firm, but also to develop a new strategy, a new pillar, which is to become a platform of asset management for private assets. We think it's really the trend of the market. Maybe we'll come back on that, but that's really what we wanted to do. So we've go on that strategy. We've developed that. We've made 2 acquisitions of great firms. One in the private equity mid-market in Europe, IPEM partner. The second one in the private credit business in the US, Monroe Capital. With the 2 of them, now we're managing 39 billion of assets. We're creating probably 160 million of FRE globally. So it's really now a sizable business, and we aim to develop that. Altogether, if we take that plus what we're managing for our own balance sheet, we're probably managing today 45 billion of assets. So yeah, we've started to deliver on that idea to be a dual model.
Really impressive. You mentioned private credit there. Clearly, it's a hot market. It's a growth market. I know that you are a former banker, so I wonder if you might give us, your views, your outlook for the private credit market going forwards.
Well, yeah, I think private credit really developed itself strongly in the US. It developed there because the US is a market where financial innovation is stronger, where you have a risk appetite which is higher, and probably that banks have less importance in the economy financing. The share of banks in the funding of the economy is 85% in Europe, 55% in the US. So less of that. Now, it's a 2.5 trillion market today, probably will grow up to 3.8. It's a huge market already, but it will keep on growing. And I think Europe will grow fast. It has already grown by 20% over the last 2-3 years, and it will keep on doing that. Because for the same reason, I think now financial innovation is there, the need of private credit is there, and the relationship between the fund, the development of private equity is, fueling that. And I think the regulatory pressure on banks is going to continue increasing. So there will be a strong development of private credit in Europe. And we do think at WENDEL that it's a market that we want to grow in, and we will help Monroe to develop a private credit business in Europe.
I just want to go back to your introduction. You mentioned the acquisitions of IK and Monroe, who you've just provided a bit more detail on. I wonder if you could provide some thoughts on industry consolidation.
Well, I think the trend of consolidation in the market is important. This industry is really an industry that now needs scale. You need scale in order to be efficient. You need scale in order to have the right approach to LP. You need scale in order to have data. You need scale. You need some scale. However, at the same time, you need to keep the expertise and to make sure that you've got deep expertise. And you need also, to my view, to keep this sort of entrepreneurial spirit that was at the beginning of this industry. So that's really what we're trying to do when we create a platform. We're creating a platform in order to make sure that we can gain scale, we can get the larger position in terms of distribution to LP, investing into it, have a multi-class asset dialogue with our client, be client-focused rather than only product-focused. But at the same time, this platform allows for entrepreneurial spirit at each vertical. IK, Monroe. Tomorrow we might be in the secondary business, which is, I think, a very good one that will develop. It's the one that offers liquidity to that huge market. Or it could be infrastructure, where the needs of investment is very strong, whether it is digital, whether it is electricity, whether, power. So, you know, we view that as being elements where we will develop ourselves and make sure that we can offer then a dialogue with our LP, which is important. For the LP, well, all the LP has developed huge number of relationships with many funds throughout the world. They want to concentrate themselves in a few relationships. And I think that's what the platform is bringing also. The ability to have a dialogue with them, multi-class, you know, helping them to refocus their relationship. For the GP, well, the more you have asset class, the more you have different economic cycle that affects your revenues. The cycle for PE is not exactly the same one as the infrastructure or the private credit. Or when the PE market is tough, well, then the secondary market is very strong because the market needs liquidity. So you have the way to smoothen your revenue profile throughout the time.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for anything further in areas like secondaries and infrastructure. One final question for you, if you don't mind. I know that something that the market's been talking about a lot is retail and wealth, and how firms can capitalise on that as an investor pool and a source of capital. I wonder what your views are on how Wendel and the businesses that you own can capitalise on this trend.
Well, first of all, I think that we all talk about retail and wealth management because the product is good. The product offers superior return. And if you offer superior return, why not offer it to people that can invest directly through, not being intermediate through institution, the people that can, the wealth management channel. We already have a significant retail business in the US through Monroe. We have something like a third of our business there is through BDCs, which is a retail business. The wealth channel is going to be probably one of the main development channels of funds in the future in Europe, as well in the US. And we want to be in that part. We're not yet in Europe. IK, we're preparing to go and have a product that will be distributed through private banks, insurance company, in order to capture that market. And we will certainly do the same for Monroe in Europe too. However, what is important to my view is that we keep in mind the fact that we should deliver to the private market, to the wealth channel, great products. And that we don't, put so much commissions and fees onto it that the performance at the end is not good for the client. Otherwise, at the end, it will not be a success. I'm sure we can do that.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time and really interesting there. Thank you.
Thank you. Great.